Hello, this is Nate, your host and partner on this journey, and welcome to Outcome Becomes Income. The goal of this channel is to create an all inclusive community to build long term wealth via the stock market. In any 20-year period, the stock market has never lost money and it has outpaced inflation. The barrier to entry has never been lower. Many brokerages no longer charge commissions to buy and sell stock, and with the addition of fractional shares, we can invest with as little as $1. There has never been more options available for us to invest in the market and become part owners of publicly traded companies. With some form of income, a brokerage account, time, and patience, we can invest in a sound financial future together. Please join me as outcome becomes income. Hello, this is Nate. Today we're going to talk about brokerage accounts, what they are, the criteria we should be looking for when choosing one, how to set one up, and then I'm going to go over three of my favorite brokerage accounts. So first off, what is a brokerage account? Brokerage account, it's a type of investment account, and we use it to buy and sell securities. And securities are things like stocks or bonds, mutual funds, or exchange traded funds. And we can set up a brokerage account at any number of places. We just need to make sure that it's a licensed brokerage firm, and they have all sorts of type of brokerage firms, from ones that are pricier, full service ones that would tailor to your specific goals and needs, and may have things like dedicated account representatives, all the way to lower fee online discount brokers. They're going to have lower overhead costs. And those are the ones we're going to be focusing on and looking for, because those cost savings will flow down to us at the individual investing level. And you transfer money in and out of your brokerage account very much like you do with your bank account. And once that money is in your brokerage accounts, that gives you access to the stock market. And then we can use that to invest in the stock of individual companies or funds that track a sector or a broad market. So most brokerage accounts, you can open them online. It's a pretty quick process, and we don't need a lot of money to do so. In fact, a lot of brokerages will allow you to open without putting in initial deposit, but we will need to fund the account at some point if we're going to make purchases and invest. So we can transfer money from our checking account or our savings account. Or even if you had another brokerage that you're not happy with, you could move money from that brokerage to a new one. One thing to keep in mind is that there is usually a fee associated with doing a transfer from one brokerage to another. And usually it's the brokerage you're moving from has some sort of fee. The other thing I would caution too is that if you already have fractional shares in companies or in funds, a lot of brokerages will only transfer those full shares. So if you had less than one share, for example, you had half a share in something and you were moving from one brokerage to another, that half share would just be liquidated. And when it was moved to the new brokerage account, it would just be sold off and you would receive that money as cash. So the money that's in your brokerage account, that is yours, and you can sell investments at any time. You can buy them at any time. It's just the broker that holds that holds it in your account for you, and it kind of acts as the intermediary between you and whatever investment that you're putting your money into. So next, I'm going to talk about how we can choose a brokerage account provider. And the options we had, as I was saying before, you could look for something like a full service one or a robo advisor, but we're going to focus on the online brokerages. They'll have the lowest fees, and in most cases, no fees. And that's the first thing that we want to look for when we're choosing a brokerage, is something that doesn't charge commissions to buy and sell any stocks or securities or funds. We shouldn't pay in this day and age. That is just not something that we should have to do at all. The other thing that I would mention too is looking for something that doesn't have any sort of other fees. There are brokerages out there that are online that will make the trades for free, but they will also charge some sort of monthly fee or plan structure. And Stockpile is one that I use, and this is a good example of this. Stockpile is one that I've used, but they're going to, here at the end of July, they will be going to a monthly fee plan. So they're still going to offer no commissions to buy and sell, and they'll offer fractional shares, but they're going to be charging a $4.95 fee every month. So although I like the brokerage, At this point, if you're not already grandfathered in, I wouldn't recommend paying an additional close to $5 a month. And this leads to the next point about I mentioned fractional shares. We really want to look for brokerages that offer fractional shares. In the last episode, if you want some detail on this, you can go back and listen. And I talk about the difference between a full share of stock and a fractional share. But the reason that I like the fractional share so much is because it gives us the option to just invest with the dollar amount that we have. We're not committed to buying whole shares or quantities. Whatever dollar amount that we have, we can invest just that. And so some of the ones that I like are the ones where you can do this with just as little as $1. If you have $1 to invest, you can put that $1 in any company or any fund that you like. And I think that's a great option to have as well. So those criteria: no fees, monthly payments, no commissions to buy or sell, and then a brokerage that offers fractional shares so that we can invest whatever dollar amount that we have. So now that we know what some of the criteria is that we should be looking for in order to open a brokerage account, we can actually go through the process of opening that brokerage account and setting up the brokerage account. It's a very simple, seamless, straightforward. Typically, in most brokerages, you just fill out an application, and you can do this online in a matter of minutes. In most states, one of the requirements that you need to open it for yourself is to be 18 years or older. If you have kids that you want to get invested for, you can still open a brokerage account. It's a type of custodial account, and it depends from state to state what the criteria is, but it's very similar to you just opening the account in your children's names, and then you set that up. So you're kind of the custodian for the investments. And then when they're 18, they can take over it. And once you've opened this account, then you need to initiate the deposit. Again, you can transfer from your bank or your savings account. A lot of these you can automate it, where you could do it on a certain day of the month or the week, or you can just do it yourself. And then once that's done, it usually takes a few days for the ACH to clear, and then those funds will be available to your account. Some of the things you'll probably need when you're opening this brokerage account is your social security number, and then a lot of brokerages require you to upload some form of government ID, whether it's a driver's license, a state ID, or your passport of some time, verifying who you are. And then once you have that, then you're on your way. The money's in the account, and you can start doing the research and looking for what stocks that you would like to buy or what funds. And this will end here with the brokerages that I like that offer some of these criteria that we're talking about. And the first one is M1 Finance. I like M1 Finance because no fees to trade, to buy and sell, no monthly fees, and it does offer fractional shares. They have a feature where you can put together slices like in a pie, and then you could put things together based on, say, what sector it was in or what industry it was in. And I like that feature a lot. They also have the ability too that if you wanted to invest for your retirement, you could open a Roth IRA with them, or a traditional IRA, or you could roll over a 401k from an employer if you wanted to do that. The one thing I would keep in mind with M1 Finance, I mean, if you're just starting out, I don't think this is going to be much of a hurdle for you. But if you really get into stocks and you want to buy a lot of companies, especially if you're only investing small dollar amounts into each, you might have quite a number of companies that you're investing in. It does cap out at 100 total different companies that you could have. So if you reached 100 different companies, you wouldn't be able to add more without selling one of the other ones. I don't think it's going to be an issue for many, but something to keep in mind. The next one that I like is called Plink. It's a newer one. I've used them a little bit. They had a great bonus offer where I think it was if you put in something like $20, they would match the $20 for you. And I used that to just try it out and see, and it's a pretty seamless interface. This one is more so for mobile. M1 Finance you can use on a computer, on a desktop, or you can use it on your phone. But Plink is definitely geared more for the mobile experience, but it meets all the criteria that I like as far as not charging any fees, and it does have fractional shares. And the last one I like is the Square Cash app. This is probably the simplest, most straightforward out of any of the brokerages accounts that I have. And another thing about the brokerage accounts, there's no limits. You could have more than one brokerage account in your name. There's no actual limit. So I actually have a lot of different brokerage accounts, and some of these I've just set up because they offer bonuses along the way, or it was the best option that I thought was available at the time. And as new ones came available, I've used those and just kept my accounts. And I haven't really condensed or rolled over because I do have so many fractional shares, and just rolling over, as I said, that would cause a lot of those to be sold off, plus the fees associated with it. But the Square Cash app is by far the simplest one. If you use the Square Cash already, you have it on your phone. You can use that and open it up to set up the feature where you can just start trading stocks. And it is probably the simplest and most seamless. You can just add money directly to your Square account, and then you can use that money to buy companies. You can also link your debit card, and then you could also buy it that way. So if you had some sort of debit card, some of them banks offer debit cards that have cash back. It would be a way to get a little cash back as well. So if you think about it that way, you're kind of lowering your cost basis for any purchases that you make. Square, one of the things I've noticed is that they do not offer every single publicly traded company, but the companies that we're going to be talking about, the type of businesses that we're going to be looking at to invest in, they do have most of those. And don't think it again, it'll be much of an issue, but it is something to keep in mind that not every publicly traded company is available with them, although they seem to be adding new ones on a daily and weekly basis. That's all for now. I hope this helps you. Thank you again for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. On YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're listening on a platform like Spotify, Apple, or Google, please leave a rating and review. This will help spread the word and get our message out there. And if there's anyone that you think that can benefit from this content, please share. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or just like to drop me a line, please feel free to do so. All feedback is welcome, and I love hearing from listeners. You can follow me on Twitter @BecomesIncome. Drop me a line at email outcomebecomes.income@gmail.com, and see what pictures I'm posting on Instagram and TikTok @OutcomeBecomesIncome. This is Nate, and until next time, thank you for being a part of Outcome Becomes Income.